Hello and welcome to yet another YouTube video here on this channel. In today's video, we are diving into the top 3 current note-taking apps, and I'm choosing to do a top 3 this year simply because the note-taking app space, specifically the visual note-taking app space, currently feels a little weird. So we have a few applications, like we have Note, we have things like Constella, and a couple of others up and coming ones. But those aren't close to the 3 I am talking about today, at least not yet. And there is one other thing I will need to add, and that is the fact that a lot of visual note-taking apps seems to disappear. So Napkin seems to be gone. The iOS application hasn't gotten an update in 6 months or so. Space Duck is going away 1st of December. Walling is rebuilding, so it is a little hard to say. And previously, like that was a couple of years ago, but applications like Clover has also disappeared. So I feel like the space is a little weird. I will include Noti and Constella and probably one or two more in another category, maybe productivity app or a tier list or something. But I wanted to do a top 3 on visual note-taking apps because there are 3 applications that are just way ahead of everyone else. And the first one is Milanote. And Milanote is basically this place where you have boards within boards. You have things like notes, to-dos, lines. It is an infinite canvas. And I really like Milanote. I've always really liked and enjoyed Milanote. I think it is an amazing application. It might lack a lot of the features that newer applications have, things like OCR, things like card tagging, so your notes cannot be tagged. It works with Markdown, but things cannot be tagged in here. But you have a lot of different things you can do here. It is super versatile, so you can use it in many different ways. You can create things like a Kanban board, like I have tried to do here, but I can like show you, so you can drag things back and forward between these columns. You can have a board within another board, so I can drag a board on top of here, and I can also put it into this board right here. So you can see how this actually works, and you have a bunch of different templates. It works well with images, so you can upload images or just add images that are already in things like Milanote, or things like this is the recommended tab where you get Pexels images, which is great if you just want to create a whiteboard. You can upload your own. It also works with Adobe Creative Cloud files. So I've tested Illustrator, InDesign, I think, and also Premiere Pro files, which is great if that is something you use regularly. And I just feel like how they've like kept developing the application and how good it is and just how stable it has been since it launched, and it has been around for quite a few years now. So the application is super impressive, and I am going to give it the 3rd spot because there are 2 more applications here. I am going to give the 2nd spot to Mymind. And what's really hard about visual note taking is that you have these image-based applications. So like Milanote, like Mymind, that works with text, but they are better with images. Mymind has actually gotten a lot better with text as well, but it lacks a lot of the like PKM features that I know a lot of people like. But you can now like add an image, so I can actually add an image into my boards. This also works with your mind notes, so I can actually have it in here as well. Let's drag it back. They've added this TLDR for your notes. The longer your note now is, the better this TLDR will become. And this like sets the basis for a feature they've had with images for a while, where you can like click on an image and you can click similar notes, and you get to see all of your similar notes. They've also added a lot of cool new stuff to the mobile application. There is just so many things that this application has. Where I think it is a little bit better than Milanote is that it feels a lot more, let's call it modern, or at least it has a lot more of the features I expect from a note-taking app these days. Things like the automatic AI tagging or the really good search, which Milanote also struggles with. So it has both of those features, which I really like. It has OCR, which is another amazing feature. I love the focus mode here as well, and I also love every like little detail into the application. Like if I hover over this, it actually spins. If I click this, I get an animation. It asks me to type my headline here. This like top here is also really beautiful, this gradient. So I feel like a lot of the things in Mymind is just a really beautiful experience. They also have this serendipity mode, which works when you have 50 cards, which just resurfaces your cards, and you can decide whether you want to keep something or forget something. I've learned after several years of note taking that in a year or maybe 2 years, some of the notes I'm currently taking, they aren't that valuable any longer. Interests change, we change, and having a serendipity feature like this is amazing. You can also see all of the different search options here. So I feel like this is more of a modern application. I don't like the fact, and that is by design, but I still don't like it, the fact that it doesn't have any like good sharing options. This application wants to be private. You can share a private link, but that private link is only available for 24 hours. I get the point of all of that, but it often means that you will need to have a separate project management tool, which for a lot of people is okay, but this then doesn't feel like that kind of all-in-one application that I know many people like, and not only like, but also many people really need. So that is why I'm placing it second in first place, and there is a light mode warning, so this will be in light mode. We have this application called Heptabase. Heptabase has everything I expect from a more like modern PKM tool. Again, it is really hard because Heptabase isn't that good with images, and I feel like there is like two types of visual note-taking apps. You have this like Heptabase whiteboard style where you have like whiteboards with cards and things like that, but you also have the Mymind style and Milanote style. So it is a little hard, but I am giving it to Heptabase because I think they're doing a lot of fun, cool stuff. They have things like the journaling page, they have things like backlinking, they have tables, they even have databases. So if I create a tag, let's just call this test tag, and I can go ahead into my card library where I have some of the demo cards, and I can add a tag. It actually turns things into a database. You can also group the tags, but in these databases I can add different properties. You can add images in here as well, but as I said, it isn't as good as things like Mymind and Milanote, but that is a really high bar when it comes to images and just using images in your note-taking. You have the AI chat ability. You can see that there are different models here, everything from GPT-5 to Sonnet 4.5, GPT Mini, GPT-5 Nano, and so on. And you can also see all of your chats here, and you can use whiteboards as context for your chats. You can create whiteboards, and you can also create whiteboards within whiteboards. So I can add sections, sub-whiteboards, whiteboard shortcuts, journals, calendars. I can add mind maps, so I could do like this instead and just create a full-on mind map. Not something I use regularly, but again, a feature I know some people really do like, and you could just keep going and creating your mind map. Again, not something I really use, but a really cool feature that, again, I know a lot of people do really like. So it just shows that Heptabase has for several years now been adding a lot of cool, good stuff. This year they've done a lot around AI, and I think that deserves a lot of praise. So I am putting it first. But again, as I said, it is a little hard because I think when it comes to images, like Mymind is better, but it isn't like an all-in-one app or a PKM app, and that is what I am emphasizing in this year's ranking. But all of these three apps are really good, and the visual note-taking space category generally is also really, really interesting. So I am excited to see where this goes in the future, and maybe hopefully next year we will have more applications. I will maybe do a tier list. If not, I will include all of this in the all note-taking app tier list, but I think that covers it for today's video.